Hello students, glad to be back with you again. As always, today also I'll be taking social science for class 7, class 7 social science, and today we will be discussing about chapter 16, chapter 16, page 108, chapter 16, and the topic will be, as I've shown it here, it will be market around us, So today we will be discussing about the market around us. Now, all of you, you know what a market is, right? Because you go to the markets to buy goods, sometimes for yourself or sometimes in order to help your parents and so on. So I'm sure you are all aware of about what market is, And so today here in this session, in this chapter, we will be discussing about that, how it works, what do we mean by market, or what kind of markets do we have around us and so on. So going to the textbook, market, what is a market? Now market means this is a place, it is a place where goods, services, goods, services, then even to do with information are exchanged for money. So market is a place where the goods, and the services are exchanged for money. So that is called as a market, Now when we talk about market, without this, the second one, that is we have manufacturer, Now without this manufacturer, we cannot have a market, because when we say manufacturer, manufacturer means we are talking about those people who produces things for us. It can be to do with people, or mainly it will be to do with industries, So those industries which produces goods for us, those are called, or those people are called as manufacturers, or those people who plants food, all those vegetables, different kind of vegetables for us, and they sell it in the market. So those people are also called as manufacturers, So without these manufacturers, we cannot have a market, because in the market we need to sell goods, Goods will be sold there. So if the manufacturers are not there, then we cannot have a market. So all these are interlinked, So market means a place where goods and services are exchanged for money. Then to do this, we need to have manufacturer, So manufacturer means those people who manufacture things for us, or who produces goods for us, Goods, it can be of different kinds, which we will be discussing later on, So that is called, or those are called as manufacturers, Now coming to this market, Market also, it is divided into two. We can divide it into two parts, One is called as, we call it as this, the wholesale market. Wholesale market means those markets which sells goods in bulk, Bulk means in a good number, in abundance. And in this type of markets, in this wholesale market, in reality, if you are to go and buy goods there, what you have to do is you need to buy in bulk again, You need to buy in bulk. Or let's say you have gone to the wholesale market in order to buy soap, Everybody use soap. So what can happen here is you cannot go for only one piece, You have to buy it in dozen or half. That is, in half means 6, dozen means 12 pieces. You all know that, isn't it? So this is how you are supposed to buy goods in wholesale markets, Now this wholesale markets, they do lots of things for the people, that is for the consumers, Here we have written as the customer, or it can be to do as the consumer also. Now consumer means we are talking about those people who goes to the market to buy goods, or those people who buy goods, They haven't manufactured it themselves, they can't do it, so they go to buy goods. So those kind of people are called as consumers, including us, All of us, we are called as consumer, because for example, everybody needs salt, right? And we cannot manufacture it ourselves. We don't know how to do it also. We don't have the facilities. So what we do is we go to the market to buy it. So that means we are the consumers, So the wholesale market, or the wholesale people, what they do is they do things, okay? They do lots of functions for the customers or for the consumer, okay? So consumer means for us. So here in your textbook, they have written, okay, they have mentioned some points of the wholesale, that is the function of wholesale markets, okay? Now here, what do they do? Okay, what are the functions of the wholesale markets are? The first one is they provided goods, okay? They get the goods from the manufacturers and they give it to the people. People here again, not directly to us, but they give it to this here. We call it as retail market, okay? Retail market or the retailers. Retailers means those people who owns shop, okay? They are called as the retailers and they will be selling their goods there again. So what happens here is the wholesale markets, okay? They will provide the goods to the retail markets and the retail markets will again give it to us. That is, they will sell it to us. So this is how it functions, okay? So the first function of the wholesale market is they provide the goods. They will take it from the manufacturer and give it to the retailers, that is to the retail markets, okay? Then another point is they will buy goods in large quantities, okay? They will, that is the wholesale markets, they will provide the goods in huge quantity or bulk, as I've said before, okay? Then they will also have a big place, okay? A big room where they will be keeping all their stocks there, okay? And whenever the retail people come or the retailers come to buy it, they will take it out from there and give it to them. Usually they call it as the go down also, okay? You must have heard about it, okay? Go down means where they are storing all their goods there. And once the retailers come, they will take it out from there and give it to them, okay? Then another point is they also functions through credit system also. Credit, we all know what Baki is, right? So sometimes we tend to take that also. So credit facilities are also provided to the retailers, okay? That is the retailer, they will take the goods from the wholesaler. They will not pay the money immediately. What they will do is they will pay the money later on. So that is called as credit facilities. So this is also provided by the wholesale markets, okay? Then another point will be they also undertake activities like advertising. They will advertise their goods, okay? They will also advertise their good or tell the retailers what are the different goods or the new things that they have brought from the manufacturers. So that is called as advertising. So this is also another function of the wholesale markets, okay? Then they will also try to get feedback, okay? They will try to get feedback from the retailers and they will tell this to the manufacturers again. When we say feedback, we are talking about, like for example, okay, if the, let's say right now, let's say rice, okay. Now right now rice is in a great demand. Everybody wants to stock up rice. So that is in high demand now. So what will happen is the retailer, they will tell the wholesale, okay, the wholesale people, and the wholesale people again, they will tell the manufacturers, so that the manufacturers will keep on producing more rice because that is in demand, okay. So that is what we meant by feedback. So these are the functions of the wholesale markets, okay. This is how they have connection with the retailers. Then coming to this retail markets, okay. Retail markets, or in your textbook it is also written as intermediaries, okay. Same thing, both are same, okay. So retail markets means, or retailers means, as we have discussed, those people who buy goods from the wholesaler and they will keep it in their shop and in turn they will sell it to us, that is they will sell it to the consumer. So they have a function, okay. It is there in your textbook, page 109, that is the role of the intermediaries or the role of the retailers. What do they do for us? What do they do for the people, okay. So here the first thing is, again, they provide products to the customers, okay. They provide products to the consumers. They will select or keep all those goods that the consumer needed in their shop, and in turn they will sell it to the consumer. So that is one point. Then another one will be keeping the prices low. They will try to make sure that prices are kept low or at a substantial place, because there will be competition. Because when we talk about markets, we are not talking about only one shop, isn't it? There will be different kind of shops in that market. So all of them, they will be doing their business on competition basis. Okay, so through this, they will be able to keep the prices at a reasonable rate. So that is also one functions of the retailer or the intermediaries. Okay, then another one will be providing information. As we have discussed with the wholesalers, okay, what can happen here with the retailer also is, the retailer also, they will try to get information from the customers, that is from the consumer, okay, what are the goods that they needed most, and the retailer, they will tell it to the wholesale people, and the wholesale people again in turn, they will tell it to the manufacturer. So this is how they keep on passing the information in order to make sure, okay, in order to make sure that they have everything that the consumer or the customers needed. Okay, so that is to do with the retail markets. Now coming to the most important point, that is we have here factors to market response. Okay, factors to market response. In your textbook it is written as factors responsible, okay, responsible to people's access to market. So how can they make the market be accessible to the people, or how can they attract the people, that is the customers or the consumers? So that is the most important point, because there may be a market, but the goods that they are selling, if the consumer doesn't need it, then they won't be able to sell it. The consumer or the customers, they will not go to buy it. So they won't be able to sell it. So what they need to do is, they need to sell those goods, okay, which the consumer needed or which the consumer or the customers want. Then only the market will be a success. Okay, so the factors there are, the first one is we have income cycle. Okay, income cycle means we are talking about the money that is rotating. Okay, now here when we talk about income circle, how they can do this is, okay, in the shop, there may be a shop there. Now that shop, okay, what they can do is, instead of selling only one item, okay, instead of selling only one item, they can go in for selling of different types of items. They can sell sweets, also biscuits and whatnots, different items they can sell it, so that there will be an income cycle. Okay, then apart from selling different items, they can also, what they can do is, they can sell both cheap and costly goods. Some goods can be cheap, some goods can be costly. Okay, so through this, they will be able to make a cycle. Even if they are unable to sell the cheaper goods, they will be able, some customers or consumer might want the costly one also, or if somebody doesn't want sweets also, they may want biscuits. So alternately, they will be able to have an income cycle. Okay, so income cycle means the shopkeepers, they should be able to sell different items in their shop, plus regarding the prices also, some may be cheap and some may be costly. So that is to do with income cycle. Okay, then the second point is we have good quality. Okay, in the shop, those goods that they are selling, it should be of good quality. It should be of good quality, because people go to buy only good quality. We all know that. Whenever we go to buy goods, what we usually does is, we look at the expiry date, right? I hope you do that. So we look at the expiry date. So to make sure that good, the good is still eatable, that is edible, or it will not affect us and so on. So that is what we meant by good quality. Okay, so the shopkeepers, they must make sure that they are selling only good quality goods. Okay, then another one is, we call it as credit. Okay, now the shopkeepers, as I've said before, the shopkeepers, they should also be willing. They should be willing to give out credit also, because some people, they may need it. So credit means, as I've said, baki, right? So some people, they may need it. So the shopkeepers also, that is the retailers or the shops and so on, they should also make sure that they give out some credit, okay? Then another point is convenience to customers or convenience to the consumer. Here, the market should be at a place, okay? The market should be situated at a place where it is very easy for the people to go and buy goods, okay? The market should not be far away, because if it is far away, then the people, even though they need goods, they may feel lazy to go there also. So the market, that is the shop, it should be situated at a place where it is very convenient for the people, that is for the consumers, okay? Then the last one is we have availability of goods. Availability of goods, we are talking about different things. When we talk about markets, okay, what we can do is shops will be there, okay, and those shops also, it should be selling different things, or different kind of shops should be there. In your textbook, they have mentioned shops of bakery. Bakery means where you go to buy snacks, that is biscuits and whatnot, isn't it? Then chemist. Chemist means medicine, where you go to buy medicine, okay? Then we have grocery. Grocery means where you go to buy vegetables, okay? Vegetable shops are called grocery. Then stationery. Stationery means where you go to buy your books, your pen, pencils and so on. So those shops are called as stationery, okay? There should also be a cloth market, okay? So all these markets or all these different kinds of shops, if they are stationed there, if they are together there in one place or in one area, then it will be very convenient for the people, and they will be able to run their business very profitably also. So those are the reasons, okay? Those are the points why market is important, or the factors that are contributing to the markets. So today's session was market around us. I hope I was able to make you understand some points, okay? Thank you for tuning in and stay safe.